Today I want to talk about something rather interesting. This idea that is very common, that we must transmute sexual energy into spiritual energy in order to grow spiritually. Now, this is a very interesting idea. In some ways, it doesn't make any sense, because what it implies is that sexual energy is more fundamental than spiritual energy. That sexual energy is a given. It's the ground state of our being, and we need to somehow transform that through our efforts to generate spiritual energy. And obviously, that doesn't make any sense. That the universe wasn't created by sexual energy. Wouldn't it be a spiritual energy that creates all this? So something is really amiss in this whole concept. So let's take a look at this. Now, this idea does make sense when you look at your experience as you grow through the years of your spiritual practice, through meditation. You may start your journey and you have all kinds of sexual thoughts and feelings, romantic ideas and attractions. You sit to meditate and these go through the mind. And as you meditate over the years, you find that somehow you were able to live in a state of more integrity. Your feelings lined up with your ideals more, so that you felt more elevated feelings, compassion and love, caring, empathy, and less just raw sexual desire. So it seems, yes, there's some kind of transformation taking place. You're transforming this sexual energy into spiritual energy. That's how it seems. This is a lot like saying the sun rises in the east. We know the sun doesn't really rise in the east. It appears to rise in the east, right? Every morning we see it rising in the east. That's what it seems to do. But in actuality, we know the earth is spinning on its axis as it rotates around the sun. It appears to us that the sun is rising in the east. So that is much like what's actually happening when it comes to transmuting sexual energy into spiritual energy. Sexual energy is not the stuff from which spiritual energy is created. Sexual energy is a little tiny expression, a minuscule expression of immense cosmic spiritual energy, Shakti. So what is really happening here? We have within us pure consciousness, the self, the universal self. And as all tantric systems recognize, there is within this consciousness creative potentiality, pure energy, you could say, cosmic energy, Shakti. So we have within us unbounded awareness, pure spirit, universal consciousness, and universal cosmic energy, Shakti. And it's said that Shakti resides in the area of the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Now, our pranamaya kosha, the energetic body, consists of some 72,000 nadis and all the chakras, major and minor chakras, more than 7. And the thing is that these nadis and chakras are obstructed and clogged so that cosmic energy does not flow through that system of nadis, does not open our chakras. And so we are operating like a light bulb that is a 10,000 watt light bulb that's maybe getting 5 watts through it, flickering. It's not the brilliant light that it could be. So in the beginning, that Kundalini Shakti is most active in our very lowest chakras. Even though it's hardly a trickle of the cosmic energy that is abiding there. It's enough to be through the lens of those lower chakras. It's enough to create that powerful sexual urges that we feel. So that is the sexual energy. The sexual energy is a manifestation of spiritual energy. It's not the other way around. It's not that we have to transform spiritual energy into sexual energy. Rather, it's that sexual energy is a very dim expression of an immense cosmic spiritual energy. And that is shining through these greatly restricted lower chakras and nadis. So what happens? What appears to be transforming sexual energy into spiritual energy is actually the process of, through the deep rest and purification that happens in meditation, that subtle prana, that Shakti, begins to move through, make its way through the nadis, into the chakras, and gradually begins to clear the nadis and open and clear the chakras. And as that happens, and it goes, and the chakras, not only the lower chakras, but the upper chakras start to open, then we start to experience a different value of feeling. Instead of just raw sexual desire, we start to feel other feelings. Maybe more confidence, more personal power, heart opening, some compassion, some empathy. We start to feel more knowledge and wisdom as this progression of purification of the nadis and chakras happens. So it looks like sexual energy is being transmuted into spiritual energy, but actually it's the same spiritual energy making its way through the system, clearing the system, gradually clearing it, so that more of the value of that spiritual energy shines through our mind-body complex. And so it looks like, we've transformed the sexual energy into something higher, something more elevated and pure, something more aligned with my ideals, into spiritual energy. But that's not actually what's even happening. So it is just like this idea that, the sun rises in the east. It seems to, but it's not really what's happening.